At the start of 2016, One Championship introduced a revolutionary weigh-in program to the professional MMA industry that discouraged weight cutting before a fight. In a recent visit to Dubai, Vice President Rich Franklin and Director of Public Relations Loren Mack talked to Physique TV about this development.
Ali Moqdad at the luxurious Burj Khalifa, and look who I bumped into, the former champion, Vice President of One Championship, Rich Franklin. Talk to me about why you are in Dubai. I know you're here just on a transit. You're on your way to Tajikistan. Can you give us a little bit more information on that?
Yeah, we're on our way to Tajikistan in transit, and we stopped here in Dubai, met up with you guys, Physique TV here, and but we're going up to Tajikistan and also to Kazakhstan. We're holding fighter tryouts in both of those countries. We have a couple champions, former champions, and some of our up-and-coming fighters from each of those countries. So we're looking at seeing what other talent is there. And we've had huge reception in both countries. We've basically maxed out the full roster that we can handle for a day of tryouts, and we'll see what kind of talent that we end up signing from there.
Is there a specific weight class you're looking for? Because I was speaking to you earlier and I was saying that the heavyweight, light heavyweight, welterweight looking a little bit thin in One Championship. So are you looking for those type of fighters, or just anything goes?
No, well, let me just say, because we don't have as many heavyweights and light heavies and middleweights, yeah, we're definitely looking for fighters in the bigger weight classes. But no, we're not partial to that. If I find a good bantamweight or strawweight talent up there, then I'll definitely send that information over to our matchmaker.
So in 2016, you launched this new revolutionary weight class system. You're the pioneers in this.
Yes.
Talk to me about how that is changing the game in terms of mixed martial arts. Talk to me about the weight classes now. What does that do to the fighters that are holding belts, and how has it been so far? I think it's 3 events now you've put on with this new weight class system.
I think it was our 4th this year.
Correct, 4th, yeah.
Yeah, and so we implemented it at the beginning of this year in 2016. Basically, well, let me say that for the people that are watching that may not know, that a fighter will typically cut anywhere from 15 to 20 pounds when they're getting ready for a fight. And basically what that essentially does, like for example, when I was fighting, I was walking around as a light heavyweight, but I would cut weight down to middleweight in order to make weight, which is what every fighter does. And then by the time I was fighting again, I would basically be weighing the same as what the light heavyweight limit would be. So, you know, basically walking around at 205, cutting to 185, and essentially getting back up to 205 by fight time. And we've basically eliminated that. So what that basically does for our athletes is that they come in, and whatever their walk-around weight was, for myself, for example, I'm walking around at about 205. I would be fighting at that particular weight class rather than cutting down a weight. So essentially, all of our fighters will end up, I don't want to use the word all, but they'll move up a weight class. Some of the fighters currently, even in the old system, still fought at their walking weight. Like some guys just didn't cut weight. So we'll have some fighters here and there that may not necessarily move up a weight class, but for the most part, all the fighters are moving up a weight class. So essentially what we've done with our weight classes is we've basically shifted the weight classes up. So what the middleweight class, what was called middleweight, is now welter. Like the welterweight moved up to that spot, and the middleweight moved up to where light heavyweight, and so on and so forth. So the welterweight champion still maintains the welterweight belt in a sense. Yeah. But essentially what the system is that the fighter, basically a fighter would come into a fight, cut weight, and that was all done with water, be it like, you know, bath salts, sauna work, whatever system that you may use. Some guys will drink distilled water and whatnot, and I've tried all systems. I was a fan of the sauna system.
Yeah.
But essentially, you come in and lose this weight. Now what we do is we track our fighters' weights several weeks out of the fight, all the way through fight week, and then on fight week we will weigh them and test their hydration with an instrument that measures the amount of solutes that they have in their urine. The more solutes you have, the less hydrated that you are, and there's a certain level of dehydration that we won't allow. And once you hit that cutoff, if you're at a dehydrated limit, then we won't allow you to fight. So we test them 2 times during fight week, and then we test them the day of the fight. We'll check both their weight and their hydration, and if they're not hydrated on fight day, we will cut the card, or we'll cut the fight from the card.
have you ever cut a fight up until now?
No. Now, under our system, a fighter has the ability to not make weight because we still have some fighters that are adjusting and some guys that are like right on the line of one weight class to another, and they're, you know, we've had a couple guys that thought maybe they could cheat the system and come in and cut weight, and this system has stopped them from doing that. And essentially when that happens, they're going to drink some water and they're going to regain some weight. As long as the weight is within our allowable body percentage limit, then we can negotiate a catch weight between the fighters. But if they're dehydrated, you can't. So if you miss your weight because of you were on the line or something like that, then it is possible to negotiate a catch weight. But if you miss your hydration, then the fight is off.
You were saying to me earlier that you were a bit jealous because you didn't have that.
Absolutely.
Do you think that other promotions will follow suit? Because it seems to be working so far.
Yeah, I spent way too many hours in saunas, and now I see our fighters that they don't have to do that anymore. And I'm like, oh, it's not fair. I had to go through this. And I do believe that eventually some MMA organizations will follow suit on this. This has been, I guess you could call it a trial period for us as viewed by other organizations. It's our implementation period, first quarter of this year. We've had a decent amount of success, or tremendous amount of success actually with it. As I said, like we've not scrapped one fight from a card, and we haven't had any guys miss hydration, and only a handful of catch weights have been negotiated this year. And I think that as the organizations see how this process unfolds, they'll look at doing something like what we're doing. But you know, make no mistake about it. Like myself and the other VP, Matt Hume, for this company, sat down with our doctors, some other doctors, as well as some consultants that we had hired, and basically developed our weigh-in policy. We looked at what the NCAA does and how they weigh their athletes prior to the season starting. And there's no other organization, like nothing that does what we're doing all the way up until fight day. Like we test our guys on fight day. So, you know, they're basically, before they leave for the arena, getting hydration tested to make sure that they're not dehydrated, because we don't want them fighting dehydrated. And it's not an easy system to implement, but I do believe that other MMA organizations, now that they have seen the success that we're having with this, will begin to implement something like it.
Thank you so much. The Vice President of One Championship, Rich Franklin, giving us the lowdown on what's going on with One Championship. April 15th, it's Ben Askren, Alexievsky fighting, and is fighting for the belt. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is. It's the welterweight belt. I had to double check myself, but I'm like, no, we moved the weight classes, so yes, it is. They're fighting for the welterweight belt.
And it's exclusive on Physique TV. Don't miss it. Thank you so much for your time, Rich.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it.